Our legal team, Dan Abrams is here, also Christie, federal prosecutor before serving as governor of New Jersey. And Chris, let me begin with you. So Rudy Giuliani is asked last night about the dossier. He responds, talking about Stormy Daniels, makes it seem casual, but this is strategy.
Of course it is. You know, there's an old saying in the law, hang a lantern on your problems. Right, so he comes in, he knows that there's been different stories being told about this payment and how it was made.
Not just different stories. The president said he knew nothing about it.
Well, those are different stories, right? So the fact is that Rudy has to go out there now and clean it up. That's what lawyers get hired to do. So he goes out there and he puts it out rather than having some reporter give breaking news that the president reimbursed it. So it's a typical thing to do, and it wasn't surprising at all.
But it also shows you that they know Mueller knows this. They know, in particular after the raid of Michael Cohen, that Mueller knows exactly what happened with that payment. They also know that Mueller knows why Donald Trump fired James Comey. They've talked to a lot of people who were there at the time. And I think at this point they're saying, let's get this out there. So when it comes out later, just as Chris says, where it's not going to be a surprise, it's not going to be news, let's just put as much out there as possible.
Meantime, the president and Rudy Giuliani both are saying this shows there's no campaign finance violations. Not necessarily.
Well, yeah, but George, I've always thought that was a weak case, no matter which iteration of the story you were going on. I think Bob Mueller is looking at much bigger things than that. And when you look at the questions that he put out, I think it backs up what I think both I said and I know Dan said too, which is you can't let this guy be interviewed. You cannot let the president be interviewed. And you look at that list of questions and without follow-ups. That's 10, 12 hours of questioning there, easy. And, you know, you don't want to expose your client to that.
The challenge legally on the question of a campaign finance violation is, can you prove that it was done for the purpose of influencing the campaign as opposed to protecting him from Melania, right? Finding out
the big question
about it, right? By the way, he's still denying that he even had an affair with Stormy Daniels. What's sort of shocking is this morning we're seeing in the tweets that he's still denying the affair, yet he's admitting he repaid Michael Cohen now for the amount through Rudy Giuliani.
Right.
So to some degree, the entire story makes even less sense.
And the problem is that the motivation for it, whatever it was, is all subjective. Right? You're not going to see a memo, an email from Donald Trump saying, I'm worried that this will hurt my campaign, so pay her the money. Okay, it's a subjective thing, and it's just as easy for people to believe that he didn't want his wife to know if there was some affair.
Right, but one thing that's not subjective is Michael loan did this. It's a loan to Donald Trump. Donald Trump did not report that on his financial disclosure. That's another vulnerability as well.
If it's determined to be a loan.
If it's determined to be a loan, and you don't know that that's what it would be.
What we're also seeing now, and John Carl brought it up in his discussion, you've got now Emmet Flood in there. You've got Rudy Giuliani in there. Going to your point, this is clear now that Donald Trump does not want to talk to Robert Mueller.
And I think it goes beyond that. I think he wants to go after Robert Mueller, right? He wants a legal team who are going to be his spokespeople, not just who aren't going to necessarily cooperate, but who are willing to attack and undermine Robert Mueller, because up to now that has not been the position of his attorneys.
Yeah, George, listen, I've been saying for months that he had a below-grade legal team, and that everything that was going on, including waiving of certain privileges, not only on the president's behalf, but on behalf of people who worked in the White House, was an awful strategic decision. And now what he's got in Giuliani and in Emmet Flood are two very experienced warriors. Flood having been through it with the Clinton situation, and Rudy Giuliani having been through enough wars himself to know how to fight them.
A lot more to come. Thank you both very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.